saying I will be rich might sound powerful, but it's actually one of the worst ways to use affirmations.
After 6 years of using daily affirmations and attending high-level mindset programs, we found a critical flaw that can make or break your success.
In this video, we are going to show you exactly what's wrong with the way most people use affirmation and how a small step can shift your wishes into reality.
If you are new here, welcome to the Futures Business Podcast by Empowered Liion. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Ballerina. We quit the corporate job and build a lifestyle business that gives us control over our time, income, and freedom.
Now we are sharing how you can do it as well.
Yay! So, why doesn't saying I will be rich make you rich?
There are two reasons for this. Reason number one is they are actually using the wrong tense. Because saying I will be rich, it is in the future tense. But when you say in the future tense, right, your subconscious will feel like, oh, this will be in the future. It is not now. So you are always like chasing the dream that you want. So that's the first mistake.
Is it like whenever we are going to take action, then we think that, okay, it's in the future, it's not now, so we don't have to take action immediately. We can just delay it until whenever we want to do it, then only we do.
Yes, and then when you keep delaying, you feel you are in the feeling of delaying. So you will keep delaying until you won't take action. So that's the mistake of using future tense.
Okay, that's mistake number one.
And mistake number two is they are too vague. I will be rich is like how rich is rich.
So we have to be specific. What's the number that you want to achieve?
Yes, that's correct.
Because I think everyone has a different definition for rich. Some people think I have $1 million, then I'm rich enough. But some people think that just $1 million is not enough for them. They need maybe 100 million to be rich enough. So different people have different definition for rich. To achieve the goal that we want to be rich, we need to set a very specific amount for us. So we will just move toward the amount.
Yeah, just like some people will say, I want to wake up early tomorrow to go for a run. It's like how early is early? Is it 6 a.m., 7 a.m., or to some people early is like 11 a.m. Still morning, right?
Yes, it's still early to them. Maybe usually they will wake up at around 1 or 2 p.m. Then 11 a.m. is early enough.
Yeah.
That's funny. But don't worry, we are going to show you the right way of using affirmation so that can actually work for you.
Yeah, so for those of you, if you are confused, what affirmations even mean?
Affirmation is a very powerful sentence if you have done it correctly. Then the idea is actually simple. You just need to get a piece of paper, or if you prefer writing, or if not, you can just simply open a note in your device. Then you have to write down all your wishes. Let's say you want to be a very powerful person that you can make every decision alone for your life. Then you need to write down specifically.
Or simple is like, I just want to quit my job. I want to be rich. So this is kind of the affirmation that you can write, and then you just repeat to read the sentence every day, or you just see the sentence every day to remind yourself of who you want to be in the future.
For us, we actually did a recording. So we'll play every time when we drive to the office or on the way that we drive back home. So we'll listen to the affirmation without us actually listen to it most of the time, I think. Because you were just very focused on the affirmation at first, but after some time, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you'll start to feel bored or you have something else to focus on. Maybe while you're driving, you can't be just focusing on the affirmation itself. You need to look at the situation around you. Where's the car coming from? So you might not pay 100% on the affirmation, but it's perfectly fine, because when your conscious mind is not listening to it, your subconscious mind might be listening to it. Because at first, when you just first play the affirmation, your conscious mind will pay attention to it. When you have get used to it, then it's time for your subconscious mind to take over the role.
Yeah, that's why repetition is very important. You repeat listening or reading the same sentences every day, then you will get used to it someday. But that's not enough. You need to let your brain, your consciousness, and subconsciousness both to register the information.
Another way for you to do that is actually to listen it every day, listen to it for 10 times, 20 times, because it's quite short. I won't expect you to have like a list of 20 affirmations. Maybe 10 is enough at first. Then you just focus on this 10, you listen to it every day, repeat it for as many times as you can. Then for your conscious mind, you can read read out loudly. Like every day after you woke up, you just look at the paper that you have written your affirmation on top. You need to read them out loud.
Yeah, so sooner or later, you will actually become the person that you have read the sentences on. So you start to act even before you know you are acting on that future that you want.
Because I would say, let's say if you want to be rich, you have to remind yourself that you want to be rich every time. But the weakness of a human being is that we will tend to forget what we want actually. So, affirmation, I would say, is like a GPS leading you to your destination. So, ask you to reading out loud, listening to the affirmation every day is not something like a magic, but it's a way for you to remind yourself who you want to be. Or if you don't like listening or reading, you can do other things that help you remind who you want to be at first. But for most people, I would say listening and reading out loud is the most effective way and the quickest way for you to achieve a result.
There are some people who doubt why does this even work? Like when you say you are going to be rich every day, are you really going to be rich?
Of course, when I first heard this idea of the affirmation, I also doubted because when we just saying out loud, it's not enough. Like, let's say I say I want to be rich. I want to get maybe 100 million every month. But will I really get 100 million after the month? But definitely no.
Mhm.
So what's the trick in it?
So the trick is the thing is you won't get like exactly what you want in your life if you doubt that it is not going to be like that. So let's say you want to have 100 million, but you doubt your capability, you doubt that 100 million is a lot to you right now, so it won't happen. But if you believe that you are going to make the 100 million one day, and then you need to work towards it, it will actually become a reality. I want to give you my example, like my real life story.
Sure.
Yeah,
I believe our listener will be so excited for it
yeah,
because a real life example actually gives us the confidence that we need for us to continue this affirmation thingy.
yeah. So I actually never heard about affirmation, this kind of thing, or just very brief idea about that. But in 2019, I attended this mindset program. It is called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. So, uh, what happened was after the event, right, I was given two pieces of paper, one in green color, one in yellow color. It talks about wealth, it talks about mindset in your life. Then I just pasted those papers on the wall and then I just read it every day. So since 2019, I read it every single day without miss. I even like think about it. I even memorize it and then I just repeat after it when I was doing my abs workout, doing gym.
Wow. So you feel like you cannot do it anymore, so you just continue reading the affirmation.
Yeah, because you know when I did the gym, right, when I did the abs workout, it was like so torturing. I want to end very soon. I don't want to continue anymore. So I just memorize the phrases, the sentences to keep myself distracted. So that's a way
Wow,
for me.
that works.
Yeah, then eventually, right, after 1.5 years in 2020, late of 2020, I actually became an investing coach and I built a seven-figure business out of it.
That's amazing. Is that actually one of the results you want to achieve in the affirmation list?
Yeah, so the affirmation, right, it is kind of like telling you to be a better version of yourself. You create your own life. You create the versions of the life that you want. And then I just take action. So after I read the affirmation, I need to like work as usual, work as hard as I want to achieve the lifestyle that I want. Then eventually, I I I won't say that you just read the affirmation itself, then you become then you can become a businessman, whatever. You have to read it plus you take action in order for you to be successful.
Okay. So first thing first, we need to write down what we want on the list of the paper. And then every day we just listen to it, read it out loud. And then we at the same time, we have to take action towards your goals. That means we cannot just stop at reading out loud or just listening every day because it won't be useful. It's like something that we dream but we are not working towards it. So we have to take specific action as well. For example, you want to build a seven-figure business, so you just take out your action, you become an investing coach, but at the same time you still read your affirmation every day.
Yeah, I think for the affirmation, it helps my subconsciousness, right, to actually pick the right opportunities. Then it helps me to make right habits and also give me right mindsets so that I can be successful in what I'm doing.
But how is it like it lets you know that what's your end goals, then your subconscious mind will tell you, okay, this is your end goal. Then whenever you need to make a decision or whenever you need to take the opportunity, you will definitely choose those that lead you to the end goal that you want. That means your destination. Is it like that?
Yes, I would say so. Our mind, right, is like a flashlight. You know, a torchlight, right? There are two modes. One mode is like it can flash a very wide angle of the places, but it is not very far. And then the other mode is like you can spotlight at a place and then it can shoot very far for the light itself. So our conscious mind, right, is like the spotlight. Meaning to say you are clear on what you are thinking and then you can think deeply and then move towards it. But sometimes like the answers might not be in that specific small places. So that's where our subconscious mind come in. They are like the wide angle torchlight. It can help you to search for the answers, right, at a much different areas that you thought the answers won't be there initially. But initially the answers are there. It helps you to make the right decisions to move you forward.
I think we have gone too far. So since we are covering just affirmation today, so we'll mainly focus on the affirmation that teach you the right technique of how to use the affirmation. So we won't be covering too much about the conscious mind and subconscious mind. This is just a very simple example for you to know that how affirmation works in a proven scientific method. So that you won't think the affirmation is just a myth, it won't work or anything. So if we have the chance or you are super interested in this topic, we might be able to cover in future episodes. But today, let's come back to our main topic, which is the affirmation. So just now we have covered that when you want your affirmation to become a real life result from your day-to-day basis, the most important thing is not just read it out loud or just listen to it every day, but you have to take action. So taking action, we have been covering this in our previous episode that if you want to take action, it has to be in your stress zone. So not in your comfort zone or not in your red zone either. So if you are curious about what's the stress zone, you might refer to our previous episode, but this is just a way for you to advise you how you can start from. So for example, let's say a person who has never been exercised before, and he or she suddenly want to stay healthy, want to exercise. So maybe the stamina is very bad. So maybe the person can just start from, just purely walking for maybe 1 kilometer. That's pretty much already, because for a person who has not been exercising before, you can't expect the person to run for half marathon. So we just start from a very small goals that is challenging for you to start, but you can easily maintain. You won't feel too tired, but it's still challenging enough for you to start off. It's a very small tips for you to start to take action. So no matter which goal you want to achieve, just try to think how can you step out of your comfort zone, but not too far away, just nice in a stress zone. For those who want to take action on your career as well, I've heard so many people complaining about their boss, their job opportunity, or their salary, whatever. But then they never take action. So I think it's time for you to think what result you want to achieve. For those who want to complain, for example, they complain about the salary is too low. Of course, you want to increase the salary to a point, right? So first of all, you have to know what's the point that you want, what's the exact amount that you want. Or for those who want to change the job just because of the nature of the job, they hate it or they don't like the toxic environment, you have to know what you want. Maybe you want a more friendly environment with those cheerful colleagues, not sabotaging colleagues, or you just purely want to experience different things in your career path, then it's time for you to take action as well. You can't just be complaining all the time or just make a wish every day on your birthday. It's time for you to take action. I would say as soon as you can, because the sooner you take action, the sooner you will achieve your result, right?
Definitely.
So if you're still curious or you're still wondering if you should stay in your current job opportunity or you should seek other new opportunities in a different way, it's time for you to do a free 7-minute quiz, which is the Stay or Slay quiz at www.empowerlion.com/s. It's a free, a very simple few steps quiz for you to know that you should continuously contribute to your current organization, or it's time for you to leave this organization and focus on your own more. Next up, we will be covering how to avoid the most common affirmation mistakes.
Yeah, so I will give two advice, the real advice that I use to make my dreams come true.
So the dream is no longer a dream, it's starting to come into your reality and starting to be a result that you want.
Yeah, so the first thing when you write your affirmation, right, you need to write in the present tense. So instead of saying, I will be rich, you need to have that mindset that you are a rich person right now. So if you want to be loved, then you want to say, no, I will be loved by someone else in the next 1 2 years. No, you want to say, no, I am loved. I'm being loved by my partner, my family members, whatsoever. So that's the first thing. The present tense is so important.
I remember I always remind you about the book, The Buddha and the Badass by Vishen Lakhiani. I remember in one chapter, he mentioned that because whatever we have in our life is all given by the universe. So you won't think that the universe will give you whatever you want. It's impossible. But the universe will give you what exactly match to your identity. So even you are a very poor person, then you wish for 100 million, you are doing whatever things that the poor person doing, you will never be rich. Although the universe give you the 100 million, you will still spend it in a week or in a month. You will never maintain this wealth that you have. So what Vishen Lakhiani suggests is that if you want to be rich, you want to get 100 million a month, you have to act in a way that you are a rich person. You have to have the rich person mindset. So you can be rich and maintain the wealth that you are going to get. So the most important thing is not about what result you want to achieve, but who you want to be.
That's why when you write in future tense, like I will make like $1 million, whatever, you are trying to make that $1 million. So the universe will give you what you are feeling right now. So if you are feeling like I'm trying right now, so the universe will give you more of the trying feeling. So you try to have something, then it is in a state that you don't have it, so you are trying to get something. So the more you use future tense, the dream won't come.
Yes, of course. Then the second mistake is actually lack of clarity. It's what we have been always mentioning or reminding you of this, because if you don't have a clarity, you don't have a very specific result that you want to achieve, then it's impossible for you to achieve this forever.
Yeah, so that's my second advice, right? So to make sure your affirmation is like very clear on what you want. So some people would say, I want to travel the world, but like travel the world is like travel to where? Like when you want to travel, how much you are going to spend to
Yeah.
travel, how long you are going to travel. No, these are all the questions. These are all the things that your brain power cannot register because it is so vague.
Yes, and it sounds like not so true, right? It's always in the dream that I want to travel the world. But once you have the clarity of which country you want to visit next, how do you want to travel the country, it suddenly gives you a sense of clarity that you really, really want to achieve this. Then your brain will automatically urge you to achieve this. For us, of course, we want to travel the world. We want to just spend a year or two in certain country to enjoy or just to experience the culture, the day-to-day lives. So we have set a very specific target. For example, the next place that we want to visit, maybe Japan or New Zealand, then how do we want to spend our life there? Do we want to just do nothing there, or do we want to experience some different work that's only in that country? Where do we want to stay? Is it in a Sheraton hotel, or do we want to live in a hostel, or even a house in maybe urban or rural place? Yeah, that's what you have to think about, because you must be as specific as you can. Let's say how much you want to spend a month, how much you want to spend every day, what do you want to eat next?
Yeah, and we are even specific about like what type of visa that we are using to get into the countries. Is it a working visa or is it a visitor visa? No, no. Then for each visa, know what is the duration that you are allowed to stay. So there are so many questions, like so many parameters that can be tweaked throughout this entire journey. So if you just say you want to travel the world, no, it can't happen.
Yes, for me, I can give you my very own example. I have no idea what affirmation is. I think since few years ago, I just heard this idea of affirmation these few years. So before this, I know nothing about affirmation, but I am actually using the theory behind affirmation since I was very young. So in my secondary school, since the first year or the second year, I was looking for the scholarship, because I know eventually I will continue my study in the university or in the college after my SPM, which is the last official exam in our secondary school. Then I was looking for all the scholarships. Then I came across this opportunity that I found out this scholarship called Asian Nursing Scholarship, ANS program. So I went to study what this scholarship is about, then what can I do with this scholarship. Then because I found out that this is a very good opportunity for me to study overseas, because based on my family's financial situation, they won't be able to support me to study in overseas, not even the private universities in Malaysia. So I found this is a very good opportunity. Then I start to dream like, okay, what am I going to do after I got the scholarship? Am I going to live in a hostel, in a HDB, or in a condo? Who am I going to meet? And then after school, what am I going to do? What am I going to experience in these 3 years in Singapore? So I just imagine my life in Singapore as if I have already gotten this scholarship. Then I'm going to spend my 3 years in that university. So that's me.
Let me just repeat. You were just like 13, 14 years old.
Yes.
And then you are already searching for what you are going to do when you are at 18, 19 years old. That is like 3, 4 years, like 4, 5 years in at once that you're visualizing your life.
Yes, because I'm a very competitive person. I think that, okay, since I know what I really want, then why don't I just started to plan my life after this? Because the sooner I plan, the more clearer my result will be, right? Since I just started to dream when I was 13 or 14. Let's say if I started to dream at the age of maybe 16 or 17, I don't think I will be able to visualize all this because the stress of the exam will be coming. Then I won't be having this kind of attention or focus on my result.
Yeah, so even you can visualize, but maybe at the time you don't have the flexibility to change certain things already because it is just like maybe just 1 year to go to the next stage of your life. Yeah, so I think it is very great. You set a very good example to all of the audience here.
So your result might not be coming very soon. For me, my result come after few years. Let's say I was year 2, then year 3, 4, 5. The result came after 3 years. So it's very long process. But I would say as long as you are doing your job, doing what you should do, you are acting your identity, who you want to become, then no worries because your result will eventually come into your life when it's in the right timing, with the right person at the right place. So no need to worry too much that if you still can't see any result in anytime sooner, because if you expecting your result will come so soon, maybe in a month, then you're not doing a very good job actually.
Yeah, so for those of you who are listening, write your affirmations now. Don't be late because your result will come in after a few years.
Yes, as soon as you're starting to write, then you can expect your result to be in your life one day later. I can't give a guarantee like how soon it will be, but it will definitely come if you are doing it correctly. Just like the advice that we have given to you just now, just following to that advice, then you'll be all right, definitely.
Sure.
Honestly, most people use affirmation in a wrong way, but then they just wonder why it's not happening in their life.
And when the tool is used correctly, it can be a very powerful way to shape your reality.
In the next episode, we'll show you exactly how to make your affirmation 10 times more effective and even a better method than your daily affirmation. So you won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Bye!